So it's the fact that there is so much foul language in this movie that I can't even find clips to include in this video. I wanted to still give this video, I wanted to include a few clips from the movie, but the language was so foul. It would have been so much bleep bleep and censorship that I would have had to do to even do this, because we really don't know Joe, okay? Joe's perspective is more darker than what we're used to with Madea. It's more raw. We learn about his background, being a pimp and, still being mentally stuck in that lifestyle. Like, we started off like, what? Okay, so y'all just stay tuned. We're going to talk about this. What's up, guys? It's your girl Beachphoenix, and welcome to YouTube Phoenix Fam and everybody else in between. If you are new here, please join the Phoenix Fam and subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, and also if you see the hype option below, please go ahead and hit the hype button. It definitely helps your girl out. I'm just trying to continue to keep going, and so that's what brings me here with this one. This one is really interesting because we need to talk about it. This one is Tyler Perry's Joe's College Road Trip, which dropped on Netflix, and let's talk about it. It's trending, it's ranking high, everyone's talking about it, and even after I watched it, now I have thoughts about it. Now let me just say up front, in my own opinion, it really was not that good. I don't know, maybe I'm just used to Madea. I mean, I like some Tyler Perry films, but I'm not a fan of them all, and this one just wasn't there for me. Now, before y'all come for me in the comments, let me just explain. When we think about Tyler Perry movies, especially like in the Madea franchise universe, we're used to like a certain Tyler Perry formula. I've already talked about this before on my channel with that Tyler Perry formula that he's used to giving us with that family drama. Y'all already know it's gonna be some drama. It's always some drama, okay? And then there's the loud arguments with it. He's gonna have the comedy. And then, of course, somebody probably going to be getting read down. That's where the comedy is. And then we're going to have a lesson in there. There's always that one hidden lesson within the Madea films. Now, Madea might be wild. We were used to Madea saying some crazy stuff out her mouth and even pull a little pum out. But at its core with the Madea films, it still feels like something you can watch with your family. But that wasn't the case with this one. So that's one of the main things I wanted to talk about. I'm not the only one saying it. Everybody else is saying it too, and you'll see in the reviews, like, this is not a family movie. It is, again, it has so much foul language in this one. Now, they did kind of give us a heads up on what was going to happen. Joe's College Road Trip is different than what we're used to with Madea. I think the main reason that it feels like that is because Joe is front and center in this film, and we're used to seeing Joe, his character, in the background, and Madea being front and center. Joe has always been that background character. He's the uncle in the corner just saying whatever comes to his mind. He pops in, says something crazy, and makes you go, what? And then, he's gone. That's how he works usually, in those small doses on what we're used to seeing in Madea. But now seeing Joe as the main character, that's a different experience. That's what you get with this film, but I think as an audience, we weren't really ready for that. We realized very quickly that we don't know Joe like that. We don't know Joe as much as we thought we knew Joe. Even in the beginning of the movie, it kind of warns you that there is foul language in this film. So in the movie, there is a warning about that in the beginning. It tells you that it's not going to be the typical Madea vibe. But even still, I think we were still wanting that Madea vibe, and Joe just gave it to us. Joe's perspective is him being still mentally stuck in that lifestyle of being a pimp back in the day. In the beginning of the film, we learn his whole background, and it's a heavy work putting on that persona of still living in the times of being a pimp. So instead of laughing the whole time, you're kind of just trying to adjust to, what did I just get myself into? You're still trying to figure him out. Now, there were funny moments. I'll give it that. There were funny moments, but there were also scenes that was not as funny, or I'm going to say it was just kind of corny. I can see they were trying to add some funny moments in it. So for anybody who has seen it, the scene in particular where they were at the bar and Joe was doing all of these crazy fights and moves and pulling out the folded chair, and then he did that one, the Matrix move. If anybody ever says the Matrix move, it's only two moves that you know about the Matrix move. It's either gonna be the one where you falling back, or it's gonna be the one where you doing like the karate kick. So you know what I'm saying with the Matrix move. Okay, so let's talk about why the movie is not doing so well. I do want to say that it's still ranking. Everyone is still watching it and everyone is still talking about it. But I personally think it's the curiosity that's carrying this film. That's what still has it ranking on Netflix. It's trending, it's ranked high, but the analytics, they're not going to tell you why people clicked. They don't tell you if people even finished the film. They don't even tell you if people liked it. You're just going to see it on Netflix ranking high and trending. A lot of people are watching it because everyone else is talking about it. They really want to see, is it what everybody is saying? Is it really like that? That's the era we live in. So the curiosity is what's really carrying this film. Now, another major difference is that, again, this is not a family movie. I mentioned that before because we're used to Madea, even going back to some of the plays and then into the movies, being more of a family film, but this one wasn't. Madea films can be dramatic. They can even be spicy a little bit and, get into a little bit of violence. But this one, it was just too much. I mean, it was a lot of adult scenes, heavy language. You can't just tell your child to cover your ears, cover your eyes, because they wouldn't even seen the movie. They would have had their eyes closed and their ears covered the entire film. So I'm saying, like, this film felt grown. This is the film that you watch late at night when the kids are not around, and this is like one of those late night type of films. So if you're thinking you're gonna watch this one for a family movie night, it's not that, y'all. I know we like to sit there and watch Madea when the family come around. You got your granny, you got your auntie, and everybody's getting around together, and we gonna watch a Madea film. Not this one. Now, something else I noticed, and I have to say this because also on my channel, you guys can check that out. I reviewed Beauty in Black. That's also on Netflix, which is a Tyler Perry production. So there's a character, Rain, and she also plays in this film. It feels like she's kind of playing a really similar role by being like on the streets, being involved in some late night ballerina type of work. It is giving that same vibe. She kind of had that same role in Beauty in Black, and then she also had that same role here in Joe's college road trip. Only thing I'm saying to the character, respectfully, be careful. Y'all know how our people do. You'll do that one role and you do it so well that people just can't stop remembering you from that role. So it's like, I don't want her to get that type of typecast. I mean, she does really well in Beauty in Black and in this film. I mean, I think she's a good actress, but I just wouldn't want people to think that's like really her real backstory, because now we're seeing her back to back doing a role that's kind of like the same character. So now I do want to shift gears a little bit and just get to the best part of this film, the message. There definitely is a message in this one. First, the movie did drop in February, which is Black History Month, and it would not be Tyler Perry again without a message that's into the story. The whole point of the road trip was that his grandson originally wanted to attend a PWI. If you all know, that's a predominantly white institution or college. And then, so the grandson also says that he doesn't see the point in HBCUs, which are historically black colleges or universities. And then he even calls them racist. So again, I'm going to repeat that. The grandson originally wanted to attend a PWI, and then he said he didn't really see the point in having HBCUs, and he feels that HBCUs are a bit racist. Now that right there is a real conversation that's happening in our communities. So Joe, his grandfather, takes him on this road trip, and you'll see he's in his little old convertible, top down, and that symbolically feels like freedom, like a movement, like legacy in motion. So during this road trip, they stop at random places, or at least that's what the grandson thinks, that they're just stopping at these random places and taking photos. Joe even makes him stop and picks cotton from some random field. During the road trip, they also stop at this southern bar that has like these Confederate flags, so you already know what that means. That was not a bar for them to go to. When they went there, they experienced, of course, that hostility, and it was the reminder that history is really not that far removed. At one point in the film, after the grandson was already kicked out of the car, you'll have to watch it to see what happened, but that's when we find out that those stops that they went at during the road trip were not really that random. They stopped at Money, Mississippi. That's where Emmett Till was killed. The river. They went to the room where Dr. Martin Luther King stayed. They actually took a picture out front of one of those sit-in locations. They had some other photos. You'll see if you watch the film, the scene where they showed all the stops that they did. And now that part hit different because when you're watching it In your head, you knew that there was something behind these stops, but Joe never explained it. So for the grandson, you kind of put yourself in his perspective, and it did feel like they were just stopping at these random places. So once we realized where these places really were, it kind of hit different. So now it did hit me a little differently personally, because I've went to the National Museum of African American History, which is in Washington, D.C. They have an Emmett Till exhibit, and it is like heavily guarded. It's like a sacred part of the museum. It's so emotional and deep you can feel when you visit this exhibit. Only a couple people can enter the exhibit at a time, so it just has that significance. If you ever get a chance to see it, or if you have seen it, leave me a comment below and let me know how was your experience at the African American Museum, or if you specifically even went to the Emmett Till exhibit at the African American Museum. So seeing that represented in this film, that hit with me, because again, it is Black History Month. I know I personally visited the museum in DC and seen the exhibit, and then when I seen them include that in the film, again, it kind of hit with me, and I like that. It was a little powerful. Now there's this scene where Joe does break down. He admits that he wasn't the best father to Brian and how proud he is of him. He's proud of his success, and he's also proud of his grandson. He even said something that really stuck with me, and that was that with his generation and the ones before him, they had to do all the hard work and all the heavy lifting, all the fighting. And so now the grandson, only thing he has left to do is just to live in this world with that freedom and to carry it on, and not to forget where he comes from. So now that hit me as a parent, because we don't talk about that enough. Again, as a mother, I want to do everything that I can to make sure my child's life is easier than mine. So you will sacrifice some things. And when Joe mentioned that in the film, it kind of lets you realize that there were sacrifices that happened before me to get me to where I am. And so you would hope that the generations after you will not just throw away opportunities that have been paved for them with blood, sweat, and tears. That was a really strong part in this film. So it wasn't the jokes, it wasn't the shock value, it was the history, it was the lesson, and it was that generational conversation that we need to have. Again, that was what made this film have a very strong moment. So now, would I want a Joe franchise? Honestly, no. I do not think Joe works well as the lead long term. I'm glad that this movie exists for the message. I really enjoyed the message, but I wouldn't want a Joe franchise. I'm glad the grandson, he learned something, because as an audience, we were able to learn something too. So my thoughts overall, it had some funny parts. It is very different from Madea. It is very much not family friendly. I think that it was, again, more carried by the curiosity, but then it was saved by the message. So now I want to know, did you guys watch this movie, or are you thinking about watching it because everybody else is talking about it? Let's talk about it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts below. And always, guys, if you enjoy movie breakdowns or recommendations like this one, make sure you like the video, hit subscribe so you can join us here with the Phoenix fam, and join me. We are just growing more with this channel. But remember, we watch a little bit of everything and nothing, even if it's not good. Okay, I'll see you in the next review. Beachphoenix signing out.